All right, welcome back, everybody, to Athlete Builder. Jim Beebe here with Lucas Lorian. Today we have Devon McDonald, a recent friend of mine. Built our relationship over the last couple of years. We're lucky to have him today. Quick background on Devon. Born and raised in Jamaica, and then quickly came over to New Jersey with his family. And we'll get into all the what's and what's, wherefores, and how things changed. But New Jersey, he went from there, played for Lou Holtz at Notre Dame in football, and he's part of the 88 national title team, finished in 92 and 93 as a fourth-round draft pick with the Colts, played for 4 years in the NFL, a couple years in the Arena League after that, still lives here in the United States, then completely changed his career path, obviously not in football, but still is. He now is with Athletes in Action. He's the head of the chaplains. Each NFL team has a chaplain, and he's the head of all 32 chaplains in the NFL, working for Athletes in Action, a much larger organization that spans more than just the NFL. Wife, kids, turns out the whole family, and doing some research, it looks like the whole family's athletic, and nieces and nephews as well. They play college and pro sports. So lucky to have him on today. Got lots of questions about his journey, his path, his approach to athletics, his approach to his mindset, his approach to his faith, and how he's living it out day to day, and what's transformed and what's impacted him over his life and his years. So we have Devon McDonald on today. Thank you very much for being here. Glad to have you.
All right, thanks for having
Devon,
me, Jim.
tell us, you were in New Jersey. A correction, right off the bat. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to make a correction. You said that I'm head of the chaplaincy of all 32 teams, and that's not correct. We are
okay.
We do oversee chaplains on 7 NFL teams.
7, okay, gotcha. Not quite 32. Sorry about
every
that.
team have a chaplain, but not all
Through Athletes in
NFL
Action
chaplains are Athletes in Action chaplains. Just clarity.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I misread that. Okay, well, at least not yet. So glad to have you on. At what age did they bring you over to New Jersey? Did your family start moving over?
So my uncle came to America the year that I was born, 1969. So he came to America, and it's my mother's brother, her older brother, and so in 1978, I was about 8 years old. My mother began to she came to America for the first time, and then 3 years later, she brought her whole family, my dad and one of 5 children, 2 sets of twins. And so me and my twin brother were the last ones to leave Jamaica.
Gotcha. And your brother's a football player too. He played for Pitt. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, University of Pitt. And he also played for Cincinnati Bengals and Denver Broncos. And
Gotcha.
Chicago Bears. Sorry about that.
Did you guys ever line up your team versus his team?
Yes. So go way back. We played 2 years of midget league football, little league football together. Then went to high school for 2 years. I transferred out of Eastside High School. Made a movie called Lean on Me. So I've been fortunate to be in 2 institutions that they made a movie. One is Lean on Me. The other one is Rudy. When I went to Notre Dame.
Dang.
And so my brother, he so my brother is at Eastside High School, and he stayed at Eastside High School. So I transferred out and went to the rival school. So we started playing against each other, starting my junior year in high school, and I've never lost to him.
No, good. That's awesome.
Yeah, all my teams always beat him, but he has always played a great game against me. Like he balled out. The only time I went against him, I was playing for the Colts, and he was playing with the Cincinnati Bengals, and I was on the punt team. And so when our offense falter, what we do, and we're close enough, they leave their defense on there because they know we can fake it. So it's better to have their defense because they're used to playing defense rather than the punt return team. Yeah, you're right. So I'm over him, and he's rushing me. And my brother, like, I lift weights to play football.
Yep.
He played football so that he can lift weights. I mean, his mentality was the weight room. I mean, he just loved it. And so he was a strong boy. I mean, I was a 425 lifter. He was more like a 500-pound bencher. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Right.
Man, he grabbed me, and I was like, man, woo. So I did everything so that because I'm like, he's not going to throw me down. He's not going to punk me, you know. And so yeah, but I never told him, man. I said, man, bro, when you grabbed me that day, I don't think I've ever been grabbed like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, his hands. I got kind of big hands. My brother got extremely big hands. Plus, he's strong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was the only time that I could say that we really on the football field engage each other.
Gotcha. Tell me about your path from high school to Notre Dame with Lou Holtz.
I tell you what, man, it's a really amazing story because coming from Jamaica, we didn't see American football in Jamaica. So the first time I saw it was when I came here. I was 11 years old, saw it for the first time, and so began to play the game. And so by the time I got into high school, you know, I wrote down this. I said, in Little League, our coach told me this. He said, man, if you want to be great in this game, every player hit somebody. And if you don't know what to do, just go hit somebody. You know, and there's a lot of truth to that, you know. Another one is just always be around the ball. Just follow the ball, you know. So, you know, in doing those things, all of a sudden, you know, we get notarized, get college letters from all these colleges and things like that. And Notre Dame was one of the schools. And really, my high school coach really was the one that really pushed that because, you know, I was going off of who's famous. Miami, Nebraska, Oklahoma.
Right.
It wasn't Notre Dame. Notre Dame was not winning. Matter of fact, when I was coming out that year, they got beat, I think, 55-10 by Miami in the Orange Bowl. Not the game called the Orange Bowl, but in the stadium called the Orange Bowl. So definitely, I'm like, why would I go to a loser like that? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But my coach was really impressed upon me how, man, a degree from Notre Dame carries so much more weight than a degree from any other colleges. So I really started listening to him. And so I took a visit to Notre Dame. And as soon as I was driving on campus, I turned to the coordinator, Coach Fazio, and I said, man, this way I want to come. He said, man, you haven't seen the campus. I just had this fight. I just had this feeling, you know. And so I went back and I told my coach, I don't want to visit no other school. And he said, no, you're going to go to Miami. I said, why? He said, man, it's January. Jersey is cold. Take a free trip down to Miami. So I took my mom down there and things like that. And even being down there, they won the national championship. Jimmy Johnson, Michael Irvin, all the boys. I mean, you know, and I was on the trip with some great, future prospects, Hall of Famers, but I mean, future great players. But my heart was with Notre Dame, so I knew where I wanted to go.
That's interesting. You know, Jamaica's a warmer country, and you go to South Bend in the winter to visit as a recruit.
Yeah, so
you gotta be wondering, am I in the right part of the world?
So I wrote that down because I'm gonna give you the reason why. So all I heard was the South is warm. So I said, where is Notre Dame? South Bend, Indiana. So I'm like, South Bend, South. Okay, cool. It's warm. South is warm. All right, cool. Took my visit in December. It's something called Indian summer. It was 65 degrees. So I'm in South Bend.
They tricked you.
In December, it's 65 degrees. So the whole weekend was warm. Yeah. All right, coach. I'm sold. I'm going to Notre Dame, man.
First winter there. How was that?
October, we played Miami. We beat them. That's the Catholic versus Convict and all that stuff.
That's right.
But after that game, the following week, man, the temperature started dipping. So about November, I started asking, like, yo, man, when is it going to warm up again, man? Man, my boys started laughing at me and said, man, this Jamaica and don't know what's going on, man. And that's when I realized, I thought Jersey was cool. I
Right.
thought Jersey got snow. They don't have nothing on South Bend, Indiana, man.
Right. 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 So you're there with Sweet Lou Holtz, right? He's a pretty big icon. What are a few few Lou isms that have stuck with you over the years that he would say these things and they kind of resonated with you and had some impact?
Well, obviously, he's probably one of the more quoted guys. But he would say this a lot. He said, if what you did yesterday still seem big today, you haven't done anything today, man.
Right.
If what you did yesterday still seem big today, you haven't done anything today. So it was one of those things. It's like get past whether it's good or bad, but especially when it's good, people want to rest their laurel on that. And he with him is just like, man, on to the next. You know, it's the next game. It's the next important thing. So whether it's life, business, or whatever, it's the next. What's next? And you focus on that. And then when that's over, good or bad, you move on to the next. You know, it's preparation. For him, preparation was key because proper preparation produces productive performance, but then the opposite is true. Poor preparation produces poor performance too.
Right. Right. At some point, you're coming over there from high school and now you're in big time college football. What was your moment like? Holy cow, this is different. This is not what I have been playing the last 3 or 4 years. This is Notre Dame, and this is different up here. What's your welcome to the league
Yeah,
kind of moment
well, my
in
welcome
college
moment.
football?
See, the first um the first college game that I ever saw from beginning to end was my freshman year. I would watch some games and things like that, but I wouldn't watch, I wouldn't watch from beginning to end. But my freshman year, the first game was against Michigan. And Notre Dame didn't have lights like they have now. So they had to bring in the lights. So it was a night game.
Mm.
And I was a freshman. I was one of the freshmen that dressed. I didn't play. I was redshirted, but I dressed. I was on the field. And man, I've never seen the electric. And then, they need to do it with Marcus because, man, they did it with Luke. At about the third quarter, I forgot the music that they play, but it's the overture of one of those famous classical musicians. And when they dun, 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 and then everybody went Lou. I mean, the whole stadium. I was like, "What is this, man?" And that's when I knew, man, this is some whole another level. You know what I mean? I mean, you get the whole and this is synchronization of the band and the people and when to cheer and do this particular thing, and it was just mastery. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I know some of the freshmen, they just went right into it, and then even before that, the pep rally that my first pep rally was just amazing. I mean, I didn't know people love football this much.
Right. Yeah.
People they start coming Wednesday evening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why do people bring in these big trailers, man?
Right.
These
Those
big,
RVs.
yeah. I mean, on Thursday, boom, and by Friday, the lot was just full with people.
Right.
And that's what I knew. That was the big aha moment for me. Like this is a big deal.
At some point, you're going on the field, but before then, ever have those moments where you're like, man, I don't know if I belong with these boys. I don't know if I'm cut out for this. I don't know if I'm good enough. Ever have any of those thoughts run through your head?
In some capacity, but I'm so competitive that so my thing is how can I be better than him?
Mm-hmm.
So athletic wise, I wasn't the fastest, wasn't the strongest, but I had an inward fire that I wanted to be the very best.
Mm-hmm.
And Lou Holt saw that in me. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't complain, about working. I mean, I wanted to be the best. So, so he saw that very early in me.
Gotcha. How'd you any first times on the field and you're like, all right, Coach believes in me. I balled out in practice a few weeks in a row. I'm now on the field, and you're like, you know what? I can absolutely hang on the field and represent Notre Dame, and I can hang against other teams, against Penn State or Michigan or Purdue or anyone else that you guys played. And you're like, yeah, I belong here. When did you know that, or what?
Well, I tell you what, man. So here's the advantage that we have, right?
Yeah.
Places like, now these days, Alabama and teams like that, Georgia. Every day you're going against an All-American.
Mm.
Like the guy across from you, he's All-American. He's like one of the best in the country, So I was going against a guy named Handy Eck. Oh, by the way, he's first team All-American. He's like one of the top 5 best tackles in the game of football in college. So every day I'm going against one of the best. So when I go to the game, if that guy, they're good, but in many cases, the guy in practice, Jerome Bettis, the guy in practice, Tony Rice, the guy in practice is way better than anybody to go against. Because like me, like I used to be able to tackle Tony Rice on the option. So when I come in the game and a guy run the option, come on. I mean, I'm tackling one of the best at the, that's able to run the option. That guy in the game, most guys are not even close to Tony Rice. You know what I mean? So that, I would say, practice, just who we had around us. Rocky Dishman, man, I run a 4.240.
Right.
Trust me. I mean, when you see that guy in practice running, you're like, so when you come in the game, we're already used to speed like we have never seen. Chris Zorich bench 500 plus pounds. You know what I'm saying? Strong. So we had, we had exceptional talent, man. I think that's what helped us, to be as successful as we were.
So I have a few of my own Jimisms, like Lewisms, and one is, confidence comes from reps. And I like what you just said. You had so many reps that were challenging against like dudes, like some ballers, right? So when it comes time to actually perform, you've already been forged. You've already been built through all that adversity and practice that, all right, it's game time. Okay. So what athletes and people in any walk of life needs to do is put yourself through some hard times so that when it matters, you can handle it. And you're right, man. When you're going against Jerome Bettis, who's played with the Steelers in his Hall of Fame, when you're going against those guys and you're holding your own, you got to actually believe when you're on the field, you're going to be okay, which you absolutely were. So surround yourself with hard-nosed dudes like that. You actually, you have a shot. That must have been painful, but helpful, right?
Well, I went up there to the spring game this year, man. And as soon as I walk in, Jerome Bettis was like, Devo, my nickname, Devo. We were just talking about you, man. Because I was a quiet guy, but I was kind of reckless. You know what I'm saying? Like if I hit you, I hit you. And I hit you with everything that I had. You know what I'm saying? So if you knock me down, okay. But you knew every play, I'm coming. Matter of fact, it got to the point where the offensive linemen, they would tell me to play. Because my first year I played scout team. They would tell me to play like Devo. We're coming your side. So just calm down a little bit. All right. So they think by them telling me to play, they sugar me up and I'm gonna take it easy. I was like, no, I mean, I'm going full speed. I mean, I just knew one speed, full speed. You know what I mean? So
with anybody, any athlete, any business, any company, they have competitive advantages. You mentioned that your brother was a bit stronger and he loved the weights, but would you say one of your competitive advantages, one of the ways you were able to separate yourself on the field, was that you would really hit someone so hard that they don't want to keep hitting you all game long? Is that one of the things you were better at, and some things, than other aspects of football, is that you would tackle with the ferocity that you were just describing?
Yeah. Because one of the things, is when people as a whole, right, can deal with 1 and 2 hits, but when they know that this going to go on all game, you can take their heart a lot quicker. You know what I mean? Because when they know it's not just I'm gonna hit you every now and then like this. It's like all game. This is going to be, and I believe that's what separates great from good and good from okay. You know, is those that, man, you know, this is how I play the game, all out, nonstop, and relentless. And then I believe when you come with that type of mindset in whatever capacity, because I do the same thing in business today, I do the same thing in work. I mean, I do the same thing with my family. You know what I'm saying? That if you got me, you got me. Now, it might not be what you need, but I'm going to give you what I have. You know,
But I'm coming, right?
Yeah, and that's all I can give you. It might not be enough, but you cannot say. And I remember Lou Holtz. He came and spoke like when I had banquets, you know, or events. He would always come and speak, and he would say, you know, Devon, I give you my best because that's what you did for me, you know. And so, I mean, I believe that's one of the better compliments that you can get from somebody is that they know that, man, they're going to get your very best. It might not be enough sometimes, but they can guarantee that they get your best. And for me, that's why I believe it's a choice. You choose to give your best. You choose to go all out.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's a choice.
Now, from there, you went on to the pros. Looking back, what's something you wish, you know what, I wish I would have done this a little bit better. I wish I was a little more diligent here in college.
So today I'm more of an avid reader. And Lou Holtz would tell us about reading. And I'm like, yeah. And I would say that. That's the only thing I would change. Because being an avid reader, you learn things quicker. You're able to respond quicker. You just quicker, you know, and you retain things. And then because on the football field, that's why they said dumb football players. No, usually the guys that are really good, like Marshall Faulk, man, them guys, just think about it. You got to be able to think so quickly that make moves and be able to anticipate what's going to happen. That takes a mind. I mean, that's not a lazy mind. Now, they might not be good in certain aspect of school and stuff like that, but that mind right there is a brilliant mind. To be able to think that quick and to catch a ball, to turn their body, to contort, you know what I'm saying? To be able to do all that, it takes a powerful mind, you know? So, and for me, you know, today reading is, man, it does make so much of a difference in the way I communicate and the way I, you know, able to convey my message and connect with people. And so I know in football, you know, knowing what to do, knowing the plays and everything, and you know, not too much repetition is great, but the repetition of the mind to know, I think would have suit me so much better and make me so much more of an effective person. I mean, because at every level, I was a captain of the team, so I had a, you know, and people always thought I was smart. But I think today I'm filling that out with you know, the ability of reading.
Gotcha. When I asked you what are some things you wanted to discuss, what are topics you like? You said how to get and grow the right mindset. So there's three things there: get, grow, and the right mindset. For you as an athlete, how would you sum up the right mindset?
Well, the right mindset is a positive mindset. You know, you know, the right mindset is a mindset of productivity, of you know, general true success. And from that, you know, that there is a consistency that this is who I am. This is the nature of who I am, and I'm going to be productive, successful. If I miss the mark, again, I'm gonna miss it full speed. I'm gonna miss it doing, you know, striving to do things the right way. But at the end of the day, you know, just having that mindset of, you know, doing things the right way.
Positive, productive, and consistent. So you build and build and build. How do you get that? How do you get those three things? Positivity, productivity,
that's very good. That's
and
very
consistency.
Good. You know, one of the things I believe in is that every day there are moments. Our life is full up of moments, right? And every moment there's a there is an opportunity to develop or
Sure.
to take a step backwards. Like I'll give you this example, like getting up out of a chair. I no longer push off on a chair. I use my legs because now I'm 54 years old. When I hit 74, my legs would have been developed that I don't have to have a cane. I don't have to have, because I'm using something that simple. How many times do I get up out of a chair? At least 20 times a day? Well, at least 20 times a day, I'm not aiding myself. I'm using my legs. So in a similar way, with his reading, I read consistently. For me, from a spiritual standpoint, praying, reading my word. So it's a daily practice. And if my days turn out good, I'm doing it. If my day don't turn out the way, I'm doing it. Because it's in the practice, it's in the daily activity. That's when success and failure eventually will show itself. So you can look back and say, man, my life is successful, or my life is a failure. And if you look back at your daily habits, at your daily moments, how you handle those moments, that's where it's at. It's in those little things. People always look for the big things.
Right.
No, it's in those little things that you do consistently, because we're creatures of habits. And those habits that we do, those things that we do habitually, especially when we're not even thinking about it, but we're doing it. So I try to check everything that I'm doing, like I said, with, like standing up. And so what's amazing now, because I do it, I watch people. I'm like, you might be in a cane in another 20 years, brother. I mean, just something that, seems frivolous. But then when you put that in other aspects of life, you know what I'm saying? You're not reading, dementia. You're not reading Alzheimer's. Yeah, it's because they don't have a mind that's trained. So then why does somebody 80, 90 years old is still running marathons and doing that? Because they, on a daily basis, train themselves to move in that direction. So so you asked about quotes, and this is not from Lou Holtz, it's from a ministry that I used to work with. In life, you're not born a winner. You're not born a loser. But in life, you are born a chooser. You make your choices, and your choices make you. So in life, you're not 100%. Born a winner. You're not born a loser, but you're born a chooser. But I like to say a sinner and a chooser. We all, because Scripture says that we all have sinned and come short of His glory. And so we all, every day, have a choice to choose to sin, not to sin, to do what's right, or to do what's wrong. And that's something that Lou Holtz will say. What's important now.
That's something I've struggled with recently in the last couple of years. And I was listening to, I don't know if you know Inky Johnson. He played for Tennessee. He's a motivational speaker, had an injury that ended his career.
Yeah, I think I've seen him on Facebook and things like that.
And he was talking about how, people that are negative, everybody has negative thoughts. But if it comes out of your mouth, that's a choice. And now you're impacting yourself again and people around you. And I would say, if something's not going well, I would point out what's not right. And what I changed with the habit was, I have not changed. I'm working on it. I'm still not very good. But I feel this is negative. It's about to come out of my mouth. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut for a minute. And then he said, and then you just reiterated, look at that moment as an opportunity. Right? Not just this is a negative thing. No, this is opportunity. This is a challenge. This is obstacle. This is, I could have a little win right here. I got to challenge it. If I not let this bile come out of my mouth, I can impact the people around me in the situation by saying something different. And can we move on a little further and a little faster? And that's something I'm still struggling with. But just being quiet and shutting my mouth for a minute, not letting the negativity come out, which I'm still struggling with. Then inputting the word opportunity, like you said, and then think about it for a moment, that helps me redirect that negative thought into, all right, what can I work on? What can I do? How can I move forward? So that's very, very helpful, Vaughn. And then, so you have the right mindset. You got it now. You just got to work. You still have to work to grow it, though, because if not, it's going to wither on the vine.
Right.
How do you work on your mindset? Where's some habits you work on daily to keep you right, to get you right every day?
Well,
Because you're built by habits.
yeah. So spiritually, waking up, praying, and so when I'm in my vehicle, these are moments for me to pray. So and one of the things I used to do, under the mindset of you get up and you read for like 30 minutes, and then you're good. And my thing is like, why only 30 minutes? I look at like Tiger Woods. I look at like Kobe Bryant, and Kobe said people practice 2 hours a day. Okay, I figure if I go 2 hours in the morning, come back, take a break, then go 2 hours again, take a break, and I go 2 hours up again in the evening. So now they only practice 2 hours. I'm doing 6 hours. How much more further ahead I'm going to be, right?
For sure.
So that's one of the things I do. I just don't read for 30 minutes. I read throughout the day.
Right.
So it's not just a one and done thing. Okay, I've checked that box and I'm done. No, it's like, the journey that I'm on now. It's like, no, it's for me now. It's like, until I die, I'm gonna grow and increase, and so that's one of the habits. Reading the word, praying, and so then praying. The scripture tells me to pray without ceasing. Then Jesus said, men are always to pray and not to faint. Always to pray and not to faint. So then if I deduce that, I'll say, well, if I'm not praying, what's happening to me? I'm going to be fainting. I don't want to faint. I don't want to faint. You know what I'm saying? So, and then people say, I'm not fainting. Yeah, you're fainting because that's why you have to drink. That's why you have to smoke. That's why you do this. You do all these things because why? Your life is not going the way, your life is fainting. That means it's not going in a direction. You're not feeling the way that you should. And so with that, yeah, for me, prayer is pivotal. And it's not just I'm gonna pray in the morning, pray at night. No. Why can't I pray throughout the day? And I believe that's what made Kobe Bryant as great as he was, that made, Tiger Woods great as he was, because they do it throughout the day. You see what I'm saying? Like they became golf. He became golf. He became basketball. And for me, but ironically, my name is Devon McDonald. Devon means prayer, also poetic prayer. So really, my name, I'm fulfilling my name. My name means poetic prayer. So I have a very big capacity to pray, and I love it. So
Seems like whether you're on the field for Lou or for the Colts or whomever, or and you even said this, in your endeavors or in your spiritual life, you have a few pillars that if I do this, if I'm always around the ball, or if I'm always hitting somebody hard, if I have this pillar that gets me right, I just apply it relentlessly. And now with you talking about the reading or prayer. So when I tell folks that we have our 6 core values at the gym or people I work with, and I said the more relentlessly you apply these 6 words in your life towards your endeavor or athletics, the further along you're going to be. So your 6 hours versus 2 hours. It just seems like the more relentlessly you apply those rules that work for you, the better off you're going to be, the further down the road you're going to be. That seems to be a big theme for you in your life, right?
Oh, big time. Because I've had the opposite, and like, if in sports, if I had this like I have it now, it's like, man. But that's history. It's a present moment. So applying that to my family, applying that to my work today, and just seeing major gains. You know what I mean? And so yes, I'm more encouraged, more passionate about. And it's like anything else. It's a momentum, right? It builds on itself. That as you start to see championships like Jordan and Kobe, you're like, you're on the right track. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen some things transpiring in my life. I'm like, yes, I know I'm on the right track. And so it just encouraged me to push on, to don't focus on so to speak, what I'm doing. It just focus on the process. You know what I'm saying? Or the result. I should say the result.
Sure.
Because I think sometimes we pay much attention to the result, and no, it's a process. I'm in love with the process. And when I played, I didn't love practice. I hated practice, man. But when I did it all out. But I didn't like the practice. Today, if I was a player, I would be in love with practice, because I understand, man, when you love the process, when you're in love with process, then the productivity will come. And then you don't focus on the productivity.
It's super easy at that point.
Just keep on building up yourself.
You keep being relentless in the process. I gotta believe that Devon, Mr. Poetic Prayer, wasn't quite living up to his name. Otherwise, you probably would have been a priest years ago. So, went to a Catholic school at Notre Dame, went to the Colts. Remind me, there was a transition where you were the Devon of old to the Devon of new, right? Something occurred. There was like, you weren't Paul getting knocked off the horse, but something happened, right?
Yeah.
There was a moment.
Basically. Well, the thing was, for me, coming to the NFL, I thought, man, I swallowed that pill that says, if you make money, you be happy. If you become famous, you're going to be happy. Because I was not a happy person. I was one of 5 children, the middle child, so I was the more conscientious one, right? So I'm the one that took on the burden, I lost a younger brother at 19 years old when I was in college. He got shot. My older brother is now in Jamaica, dealing with, he's a paraplegic. So I had a lot of stuff going on in my family. Came home from right before a bowl game, before I went down to play Colorado in the Orange Bowl. My mother came I was in the house, just got home, and next thing, my youngest brother, holding a gun to my daddy's forehead that I had to talk him out of. So dealing with all that while in school, right, trying to get an education. And so for me, it's like money was going to liberate us, free us. But then when I started making money with the Colts, it's just, wait a minute, I'm still me. Everything, only thing different is my bank account. So I got even more depressed, because I'm like, what they told me money was going to make me so happy, I'm not happy. And so, I got hurt in college. I had 2 knee surgeries. So that kind of contributed to me not fully playing, because my knee wasn't performing the way that it should. So I couldn't turn and pivot and be as violent as what I needed to be, because that was my game. And so when I got cut from the Colts, man, devastating. It was a wake up call too. And that's when I began to turn to God. And I remember this was 1996, and we were 95 going to 96, and got cut from the Colts and got picked up by the Cardinals. And when I picked up by the Cardinals, I remember flying home on a game, and my seatmate was a guy named Seth Joyner. Seatmate meaning we sat in the same proximity. And he said, "You all right, man?" I said, "Yeah." Because I really was contemplating, like, okay, man, this is it. I can't take this no more. I'm going to go home. If I get home, matter of fact, when I get in my car, I'm going to drive it over the hill on the way home from the airport. And I got in my SUV, I'm driving, man, and a voice was like, just keep going, man. And another voice was like, no, get to your apartment. I got to my apartment, opened the front door, threw my luggage on the ground, just fell to the floor, began to cry like a baby, man. Because people that are suicidal, they don't want to die. They just want the pain to stop. And in all that confusion that was going on in my life, all the problems that I just communicated, and my career not going the way I wanted to. I'm an overachiever. I wanted to be great, and I wasn't. So you put all that together, it's like, you know what, man, let me just, retire it. But that night, I believe the Spirit of God came in and ministered to me and just comfort me. I never had peace like that in my life, man. Like, I had a peace come upon me. People said they see lights and feel. I just felt like inside, like, man, it's going to be all right tomorrow. The only reason I work so hard, because I always thought that the next day going to be worse than this day. So let me work even harder, And that night, man, it was a peace. And so I got with the next day, I got with a player named Aeneas Williams. Aeneas in the Hall of Fame, 10th round draft pick, which is really amazing, because 10th round draft picks don't make it to the Hall of Fame. But one of the hardest worker in the game of football, but one of the greatest men of God that I have met. I mean, far as living, walking the walk and talking the talk. And he been inviting me to come to his house, and I kept saying no with my mouth, but my heart really wanted to go, right? And so I Went over to his house that evening, got baptized, and confessed Romans 10, 9 and 10. If you confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus, believe in your heart God raised him from the dead, that you'll be saved. And there in 1996, in October, I think 6th or 7th, around there, began my walk with Jesus Christ. So we're walking for a while now, man, and I am more, I believe, more passionate, more sold out than that day. Obviously, the ebbs and flow and everything, but today I said, stand here and say, yep, I believe that my relationship with Christ give me now the ability to share some of these wisdom points that I'm sharing tonight, because it's not me that's living, it's he actually living his life through me.
That's awesome. That's great. And, it was someone had to come to you. So one of the components for building athletes I talk about is your ability to work with teammates, whether it's on the field or the leadership team or the support team or whatever. And, it looks like throughout your career, you always had some teammates that you learned from, either mentally or emotionally or spiritually, and they always helped or were nearby. At the same time, you're always pushing them up to perform better in their lives as well. Talk about the game of football and how you might have a not great or talented team perform well, or a team that's really, really talented fall apart because the teammates don't work well together. So you've seen successes and some of the lows, right? So can you talk about that a little bit, how teammates gel and don't gel in the sport of football with you guys?
Well, you know what? So being the middle child, I'm fine being by myself. I'm kind of introverted. I was introverted, but today, in life, in business, in ministry, and when even I look back on my career, right? I play a team sport, and we won as a team. And I remember when we won the championship at Notre Dame, we all got rings, all the players, right? Then they start to give rings to the janitors. I'm like, what? Like, why would they give a janitor a ring? The front office ladies and stuff like that. And I think it was Lou Holtz that said, listen, without those people, our job would be so much harder. So I'm speaking in respect to the team aspect. It's a team. You win as a team. And so I'm more proponent today of teamwork, because I've seen it on both sides. When I was in Arizona, we weren't a good team. When I played arena football, we weren't a good team. And then I even see with the Colts. When I first got here, we were not a good team. But then in 1995, we became a team, and we almost one play away from making it to the Super Bowl. And I believe if we'd have went against the Dallas Cowboys, because they couldn't stop Jim Harbaugh, because nobody was stopping Captain Comeback, we would have won the Super Bowl. If not, we would have did way better than Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh got blown out, But we gel as a team. And so that's why today, as much as possible, and I still falter sometimes, because I'm a guy, I like to get things done. And if nobody's going to do it, I'm going to get it done. But that's not always the best route. Lou Holtz said that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with people. If you want to go fast, go alone, because you'll get there. But if you want to go far, go with people. Because just like ducks flying south for the winter, the one that starts out as a leader does not finish as a leader. Sometimes they got to nurse him back to health. Somebody else lead. And then that's what a team does. Everybody together, everybody achieves more, as they say. TEAM.
What do you miss about the game itself when you were as a player? Because you're still there involved, and you've been in locker rooms after being a player as an alum, right? You see, you help mentor folks as well. What do you miss about being on the field?
What do I miss about being on the field? It's just performing. What I miss about
a lot of people say. Go ahead.
What I miss about the locker room, man. Let me tell you something.
That's what they say. Yeah.
I know there's comedians out there who crack their jokes and all that, but to me, one of the funniest places I've ever been is in the NFL locker room. Man, it's the jokes and because you got rich young boys, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Playing a game.
Right.
Rich young boys playing a game. It don't get no more almost freer than that. You know what I'm saying? And I mean the jokes and the cutting up, man, and the hazing and the because my freshman year, I mean my rookie year, I didn't bring the donuts. You got to bring the donuts. You got to bring the donuts on Friday. And if you don't bring the donuts, you don't want to know what's going to happen. People get tied up. So my thing was, we're getting ready to go to play the Buffalo Bills. So I didn't bring the donuts. They didn't say nothing. All right. So everybody's supposed to pack your bags. You're responsible to pack your bag because if something missing, that's on you. Right? So pack my bag, boom, drop it off. Now it's time to went to the meeting. Now you gotta put your bag on the truck. Because they take the truck and sometimes they drive it there and sometimes they put it on the plane. I can't find my bag. Hey Devon, we're about to leave now. I can't find my bag. I know I pack it. I know I put it right in front of my locker. Can't find my bag. Man, I'm rolling around the building. I'm like, okay, okay, all right. So now I'm trying to find it because I know that somebody took it. Man, I ran by the jacuzzi. You had a big jacuzzi. I see something bobbing up, so I thought it was somebody in there. Yeah, I turned. It's my bag in the jacuzzi, bro.
Dang.
Soaking wet, everything. So, and somebody walked by and said, "Rookie, bring the donuts, all right?"
Next week?
Oh yeah.
Did you bring donuts?
Oh yeah. And so I went and got Long's donut because that's what they wanted, man. That or Krispy Kreme.
Oh, they're famous. Yeah. Dang. But it was Jerome Bettis. If you're playing defense at linebacker, like who's someone that you tackled that was running at you? You're like, I'm gonna hit him again as hard as I can, but man, this one's gonna hurt. Who's someone that really left an impression?
I saw him the other day, man. We went to the pit game and we were up in a suite together. I wish the world could have seen him on a consistent basis, man. His name is Tony Brooks. He's about 6'2". Look him up, man. He played for the
Notre Dame guy, right?
Yeah, but man, I mean, he's not doing too good these days, man. But man, far as raw talent and just bringing it, man. Now he's about 240. They say he can tote the rock. I mean, that boy can run. I mean, when he's coming, you already know it's going to be a headache. I mean, because if he collide, he's coming with it. I mean, he's coming with 240, but he has a slashing style to him. Jerome is a bus, and the best way to stop a bus is early. Because once the bus get going, it's kind of hard to stop the bus. You know what I'm saying? So we learned Jerome. You won't get to him sooner than later. Because if he's steaming down the road, yeah, not too many people want to stop the bus.
Any other who'd you play for? Who's the coach at the Colts at the time when you were there?
So I played for Ted Marchibroda and Lindy Infante.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Ted was like a good precursor to Dungy, man. I mean, he was a player's coach. You know what I'm saying? Didn't yell until so. I remember we were cutting up, so we'll drink on Thursday evening, and so by Friday, because I like to practice, so everybody drunk. I mean, guys that drink drunk, right? And so this guy named George Catavalis, his daughter Lindsay worked with the team now, and so we kind of cutting up, man, and doing what we're supposed to do. And man, he said, "Hey, listen, y'all not gonna have Ted yell at me again." I'm like, "Ted yell?" He said, "Oh." You boys don't see the same Ted that we see. We get a nice Ted. Well, you guys get the nice Ted. We get the mean Ted. So don't believe that hype that Ted is just as nice, meek is. So that gave me as an eye opener for me. Like, yeah, there's a big difference.
Awesome. I know. I always want to be respectful of your time and all. Any other thoughts or points you want to point out for people that are playing or hoping to play in college, hoping to play in the pros? Any other thoughts or points you want to pass along?
Obviously, I believe in prayer, and I believe, coming from Jamaica, my mother was a prayer warrior, and I believe that's one of the reasons. Me and my twin, come on, man. My brother was the second and sometimes the first ranked linebacker in 1992. Go check it out. Number one linebacker in the entire country, So I would definitely pray. However, I would say this in addition: be a student of the game. Be a student of the game. Really be a student of whatever you're doing. Whatever you're into, be a student of it. You know what I'm saying? Study it. And so you're a linebacker. Yeah.
All of it.
You should know linebackers. You know what I mean? I mean, you should study the guys who preceded you, who does it great. And even with Jack, I mean, I tell him, study these guys, because they're ahead of you. And when you're a student of the game, you can tell. You can tell somebody who's a student of whatever, or somebody who just doing it. Yeah. They're just doing it as a casual thing, And my thing is this: life is so short and so precious. So if you're gonna do something, be all out with it.
Might as well be all in. I say it all the time: all in or not at all. I interviewed Jack and 4 other linebackers, so 5 linebackers from Ball State, and that podcast dropped today. And one of their main guys, Clayton Call, he's been a student of the game. His dad's a high school coach. All the brothers played football, so since he could walk, the whole family, it's all boys and the mom. They've been talking football their whole life, year round. So now on his social media, this kid, Clayton, all he does is break down defense and offenses, and that's all. He just puts it on social media and says, hey, here's how you here's how a cover 2 sets up, here's how you run against it, here's how you throw against it. And this is all this kid does. He's like 22 or 23 years old. He's got one more year of eligibility, or he might turn pro. Not sure, but
he's gonna be a coach somewhere.
Be a coach somewhere, right? When you're training, whether you're walking or lifting, what's something you like to listen to?
Yeah, you asked that question. I love Jamaican Christian reggae. If I'm walking in the gym, I don't listen. I mean, I just listen to whatever's around me. Yeah, but when I'm walking, I listen to Jamaican Christian reggae.
What's an adventure place maybe you and your wife you haven't gone to yet?
Well,
you'd like to check out at some
Africa
point?
Africa and Israel.
Well, Africa's a big place.
Well, okay, very well said. Okay, Ethiopia.
Ethiopia. Okay. Yeah. Favorite sports movie?
I'll tell you what, I love Rocky. That's one of the first movies I saw when I came from Jamaica. And I just fell in love with Rocky.
Yeah, I would say probably that's one of the most impactful for me, because he had nothing and he just put out and put out. Yep. So I'm that person that believes if you just keep putting out, you got a shot to make yourself great. And I truly believe that. And that's why it's probably one of my favorites all the time. Favorite sport to watch?
Favorite sport to watch? That's a good question, man. Yeah. I'm kind of falling in love with golf because it's so challenging, man. I love football. I mean, because I've been played it, but golf is right there now, where because I'm playing it and I just see how, man, that's no joke, man. I mean, there's so many variables that you have to pay attention to.
On every
shot. I mean, you gotta be thinking. I mean, where you are.
Sure.
I mean, just amazing sport.
Favorite athlete to watch?
I'll tell you what, man, LeBron James. I love his history. I love the fact of where he came from, man. You know what I'm saying? To not grow up with mom and dad, and to come from where he come from, man. Because I look at Tom Brady, mom and dad. Look at Michael Jordan, mom and dad. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of guys like that. Jerome Bettis, mom and dad. But I look at LeBron James. He had dad figures in his life. So for me, when I look at him and see where he came from and see how he's living now, I mean, I've never heard of a controversy about him. You know what I'm saying? Unless he's paying off people really, really
Right.
good. I've never
Right.
heard any big time controversy about him. You know what I'm saying? So for me, for him to doing that long, and even what he's doing now is just subhuman, man. I mean, 38 years old and still scoring
Smashing it.
average almost 27, almost 30 points a game.
It's there's a story, and here's how I'm going to apply it to this. These two twins, one turned out really well, played pro sports. The other one ended up in prison. And the twins, the parents, they came from a really broken home, and there's a lot of violence. And the one that played pro sports is like, well, my life sucks so badly, I had to turn it around and make some better choices. The other guy was like, well, my life sucks so badly, how I'm doomed from the start. So you look at someone that has, like you see, two parents in a stable household, and they're doing great. There's plenty of others that are not. And you look at people like Ray Lewis, who talks about how his mom was abused all the time, and he came from such a struggle that he had to rise above that, and then created that tenacity. So in either way, you're dealt this hand, and then you have this choice, right? And just like you said before, you're born, and you have to choose at some point. You're not a winner or a loser. You're a chooser. I'm going to assume that your favorite book's the Bible.
Yeah.
Other than that, though,
is
is there a number two?
Yeah, it's called A Blessed Life by Robert Morris. That really,
Okay.
Yeah, that I would say anything that changed my life, that really changed the trajectory of some of the things I was doing, was A Blessed Life by Robert Morris. Because he talks about tithing, how important it is to give to God first, and have a joy in that, man. And man, talk about some of the things that I practice. That's one of the things that I practice, man, about giving to God my time, my talent, my treasure, on a consistent basis. Give it to Him first. I call it Fab God, Fab, F-A-B, fabulous God, F-A-B, first, all and best, and He'll take care of all the rest,
Like it. In movies or books, or favorite superhero and favorite villain?
I tell you what, my favorite superhero is Batman. And the reason is because he needs he angry Robin. And if you asked me this a few years ago, it would have been Superman, because he just doing things by himself. I'm more of a team, that type of guy. Super villain, man, I wrote it down somewhere else, so I was a good one too, man. Let me finish up the rest, and I'll think about it some more.
Sure. In the gym, what's your favorite lift?
I tell you what, man, I haven't done it in a while, but I actually love the deadlift. I think it's one of the most, it's a good safe lift. It's almost like a squat-ish, but without the, gotta have this bar on my back, which, kind of just ridiculous. But it's a good, powerful lift, to show strength, and it builds you. So I really love the deadlift.
Favorite thing to train on right now, or work on right now physically?
The way to train, in interval. I mean, I really love the so one of the things I do, I do like sprints, right? Jog, boom, 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 then jog some more, then sprint. That kind of interval, or whatever it's called.
Interval training.
Right. There you go.
If you had $10 million, would you still be in the same role, or what else would you do if you had $10 million bucks?
I mean, I'm glad you asked that. One of the things I did, so I just returned back, just sold my daddy's house, right? And in selling my daddy's house, we had to get it ready. And so we filled up 2 20-yard dumpsters. And then we filled up a 30-yard one, and that wasn't enough. And I did probably 95% of the filling up. I say that to say, one of the things I love doing, I used to do when I was a young boy, when I came home from college and things, is to clean up my house. I love to take something that looked very messy and make it look clean and good. So I would say, if I had $10 million, I would connect with people, and they would have to help now. They have to have some stake in the game. But to take a house that looked like nothing, but then even more than that, is to take lives that look like nothing and make them something.
And clean them up.
Yep.
Clean those lives up. Awesome. I'm sure you got plenty of quotes. Is there one that sticks out in your mind that you like more than others?
So it's a Bible verse, you know. I again, they all fit, but I can do all things through Christ which strengthen me. You know, Philippians 4:13. You know, I can do all things, and I'm living that, and it's been, you know, a good verse to live by.
Awesome. Hey, Devon, man, thanks for the time today. Thanks for the knowledge. Thanks for the help. Love to have you back on down the road.
Okay.
If you ever need anything from us, don't ever hesitate. But thanks for taking the time, man. Really enjoyed it like always, and thanks for making an impact. You really did. All right. See you later, everybody. We'll see you next time.